thank you very much indeed for wanting to know something more about this house. And I'm an ex-sailor, and we had a 71-foot ocean racing ketch once, and we did 24,000 miles almost sailing around the world. And my family and I, that's my wife Trina, our son Andy, and Tessa and Karina, really got on so well on board this vessel that we thought to ourselves, gosh, perhaps we could actually design a house so that it would be a little bit like a boat, that it would be a smaller space, and that we would be able to live and work well together. And quite frankly, when I look out at marvelous views like the one that we have here, I think to myself, it won't take too long if we have huge homes before we've covered the whole lot. Instead of having wonderful fertile soil and great food coming out of that soil, we're just going to have lots and lots of houses. And so we wanted to be able to make a statement by bringing in our boundaries and living within a smaller space, but living creatively. If you're going to live in a picture frame, make the picture the best you possibly can. Well, this started out with a wonderful set of architects, and they're really people on Stanwood. And Dan was our architect, and Dan also loved the idea of living in a smaller space. As we looked at 71-foot long boat, this is a 72-foot long house, 18 foot on the beam, and flat decks, but then after that you start to think outside the box. Here we wanted to get the shape of the outside of a boat, but without going into one huge window all the way around, which stops, and up above it gives you a kind of flying bridge feeling. The whole of the paneling of the ceiling is done in strip planks, as in the old boats that you would have that done. Now, if you come over here at the length of the companionway, the whole idea behind this, you'll see all the lights in the ceiling, was that you would get a great focal distance. There's about 67 feet long here, and it gives you a sense of distance. You don't feel that you're being contained in a very small space. When you come in, you will notice that there is what we call the side boarding ladder. And that is, you come down through here, it's all done for wheelchair access. Come through here, but it's at a different angle. And if you look behind here, what we've got is this wall is not at 90 degrees. It's set off about 20 degrees. So 90 degrees would be straight through there, and it's that amount of an angle. The reason for that is so that when you come in, you have this real sense of space. Over here, this is our pride and joy. This is a specially designed table, and very similar to the one that I had on the Ocean 71. And this one is designed so that you can bring the top. It's all bird's eye maple, and it's original wood. That these slides go in. You release a little weld nut here, and then wind up being able to sit around a coffee table. All right. Here we have an opening into the kitchen, so that you can chat with people at the same time that you're doing it, but we have enough space here to prevent you from seeing all the stuff going on here. So you can talk to them and the stuff is happening away from the screen. This is the cooking at sea routine. These are designed so that you have no square edges. Right here is the spice rack. And the spice rack here is enough spices to be able to hold 250 different spices. There aren't, of course, 250 different spices, but one tends to collect these sort of things, and it's just a marvelous way of being able to stand back and think, well, let's see, a little rosemary perhaps would be rather nice in that scone mixture, you know. And then perhaps I'll add a little allspice to that, just a sort of flicker of an interest. That's the case. That's what I do. This is an artist will paint with a palette, and I paint with spices. Okay, welcome to the master bedroom. And the master bedroom is really part of the companionway because we wanted the distance. Now, the master bedroom is based upon the captain's bed concept, which is high up, certainly. Very good storage space underneath for sheets and blankets and things. Okay, upstairs. Now, this took quite some doing because this had to be, the home was built at the beginning, and then this as one piece was lowered in from the top. An amazing process, and it had to be galvanized all in one go, in one metal bath. And so that had to be done in Seattle, so it had to be trucked up here. And I think people were all quite odd about, I wonder what that is all about. These steps are all fashioned in the same bamboo material that the whole floor is done in as well. So come on up. Okay, this was my office. And look, if you will, at the moment at the trusses here. The whole of this building is designed for a force 9 earthquake. We're not really looking forward to it, but if it does happen, this house will stand. And the whole thing we wanted to do was to over-design everything. Every single part that you can no longer see of this house was designed from a structural point of view to be able to withstand a good shaking. So there it is, lots of place for books and references and an absolute stunning view. And we wanted to be able to look out over the top of the railing. So normally if a house would be down a few steps like this and you'd be looking at part of the railing, but this one looks out over the top of it. We've also designed the outside of this space here, both here and at the back, gives you about 1,800 square feet of garden space. And the roof has been designed to be able to take the weight of a garden that would be put up here as grow boxes and the various things, whatever you could think of doing. Imagine coming up here on a lovely warm evening in the summer and being surrounded by perfume plants. Fabulous. Okay, come on. Well, here it is, you see. This is what could be developed now. And a garden here looking out over the rockery here. It's this interesting characteristic. Dan Nelson's favorite flow line is that roof there. It's that arch process. If you'll see here too, the robust nature of all the gutterings and the through pipes, that's the kind of structure that we've got. Come over here and see what it feels like to be on a flying bridge. I once went round the world on the QE2 and the Cunard liner, and they used to have, going through the Panama Canal, they had these abutments on either side, a kind of flying bridge on the side of the vessel, where they would look down. There's only 6 inches clearance on each side for going through the Panama Canal for such a large vessel. So you can imagine the guys up here going left a bit, right a bit. It's kind of dicey business. But that was it. One other thing, that just a small thing. This engineering here, these were specially designed to be able to make this task of holding this in properly and having a proper rubbing rail, a proper handhold, rather like a liner would have. Good. Well, that's almost it. Come on downstairs again. Just one thing to show you before we say goodbye, and that is, this is a famous brand of toffee. English toffee. And as you see, they're empty. They're called Nonsuch, and we've called this cottage Nonsuch Cottage after the famous Henry VIII. That's the 16th century King of England, Henry VIII. He designed a thing called Nonsuch Palace, and this is Nonsuch Palace here. And what he wanted to do was to have the absolute palace. Nobody would ever have a palace like it, to out-palace every palace. This is the exact opposite of that. We wanted to have a cottage, not that would outdo anybody else's cottage, but a place where you could live your life and enjoy your friends and have the minimum space to be able to heat and cool and care for. Wow, you know, just like a great condominium looking out over Central Park would be about this size. And so we've lived here and thoroughly enjoyed it.